What's up everyone, I'm the one and only Zage, and as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, we'll be covering how a fight between Luffy against Law and Kid would play out right after the Onigashima raid. These three have had a major rivalry ever since they met on Shabondi 2 years ago, and they even joined forces in order to defeat the former emperors Kaido and Big Mom. Kaido was defeated by the hands of Luffy, and Big Mom was defeated by the hands of Kid and Law. Their efforts granted them all a 3 billion berry bounty, so who would win if you pit these Yonko slayers against each other? But before we delve into it though, if you're new to the channel and you like content like this, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, as it helps the channel grow, and as always your support is much appreciated. Before we talk about the three leaders, a major difference in the way that Big Mom and Kaido fought is the use of Conquerors coating. As a reminder, Conquerors coating or infusion is the advanced usage of Conquerors Haki that not only boosts one's attack power but their speed and durability as well. This can be proven by comparing Luffy before and after awakening advanced Conquerors. Before, base Luffy couldn't completely evade a Thunder Bagua from base Kaido, whereas after, Luffy could completely dodge and counter a drunken hybrid Kaido using Gear Second. As for durability, before Conquerors coating, base Luffy was knocked out by Kaido's Ragnarok, but after Conquerors coating, he was able to withstand a lightning hammered Ragnarok, which is a stronger attack, as at this point in the fight Kaido was drunk and began to strengthen his Haki. Infusing Conquerors Haki works similarly to what infusing Armor Haki does, as an extra shield that's applied aids one offensively, so it makes sense that it enhances defense as well. Essentially, infusing yourself in Conquerors Haki just makes you overall stronger. Throughout the fight against Kid and Law, Big Mom never infused herself with Conquerors Haki, meaning not only aren't her attacks the strongest it could be, but she isn't even at her peak speed and durability too. The common arguments against this would be these two panels with Big Mom that have the lightning effect around her. The problem with this is that people ignore the context that this effect was only used after she used her Devil Fruit ability. The first being after she used her soul to restore her broken bones, and the second after she used Soul Pocus to steal the souls from the surrounding beast pirates. The second moment makes it super clear she wasn't using Conquerors Haki against Kid, as before and after Big Mom using Soul Pocus, there are several panels of this clash, and none of them have the lightning effect that'd be recognized as Conquerors Haki until after she used Soul Pocus. There was also a statement from the Shonen Jump magazine that said Big Mom used her full power against Kid and Law. However, if that were true, it would scale her extremely weaker than Kaido, as her feats don't actually stack up, which will become very evident as we cover this topic. Unfortunately, there's just a large preponderance of evidence suggesting Big Mom never used advanced Conquerors Haki against Kid and Law. The mere fact that it's not clearly shown throughout the entire fight, despite there being 4 other advanced Conquerors users who have been clearly showing and using it throughout their major fights, makes it more likely that Big Mom never used it. It may sound dumb that Big Mom would be defeated without going all out, and I actually agree with this, but unfortunately it is what it is. Others have held the opinion that the fight was meant to be a battle of devil fruits, and that Big Mom can be just as strong without the use of advanced Conquerors. The latter take is so asinine, as Luffy clearly wouldn't be as strong with his devil fruit alone, and the same goes for Kaido. Kaido even claims that a strong devil fruit ability isn't enough to conquer the world, but Haki transcends all, and when judging the landscape, Kaido's claim is absolutely correct. Not only that, but ultimately Luffy defeated Kaido due to the strength of his Haki surpassing Kaido's in their final clash, so this is narratively supported. With this finally out of the way, we can finally begin to compare Luffy against Kid and Law. First up, for Kid and Law's speed, Kid is able to assign the north and south poles to Big Mom and the pillar behind her before she was able to land an attack with her Mesa Saber. Kid was also able to completely dodge the Misery attack, which is formed by the 3 main soul powers combined, making it the strongest attack that Big Mom used during the fight. Against Misery, Law easily blitzed it whilst having very little stamina left, despite his back initially being turned against it. Despite these reaction feats, their combat speed in general is hard to judge consistently due to Big Mom being caught winded and completely off guard on several occasions. To show what I mean, take Law attacking Big Mom from behind when she thought the fight was over. The shot Shock Will winded Big Mom to the point where she couldn't react to Kid's corner deal. Ordinarily, Big Mom would be able to react to Kid's attack, as we saw after Big Mom healed herself that she was able to react to the same bull attack while being weighed down by the tower on her back. This also shows that the speed of Big Mom's misery attack isn't relative to herself, as she can react to the bull attack while being weighed down, but misery got blitzed by an almost no stamina Law when not even using his rune. Law and Kid's awakening are mainly attack power based increases, so it doesn't increase their speed. This is all the more evident with Law, as the awakening of his fruit fuses his rune with his sword, which means he doesn't have an exterior rune that would grant him the ability of swap teleportation. Law would only be able to use this using the remote room or the re-room, and he hasn't been shown being able to use Kroom and the re-room at the same time. As for Luffy's speed, after mastering advanced Conquerors and splitting the sky with Kaido, he was able to completely dodge a Thunder Bagua point blank by a drunk hybrid Kaido. This is arguably a faster Thunder Bagua than what Law was completely blitzed by, showing Luffy's reaction and movement speed in Gear 2nd alone is faster than Law. Kid doesn't have a one-on-one moment like this against Kaido, but his reaction speeds aren't shown to be any better or worse than Law's throughout the Big Mom fight, so the same would likely happen to him as well. Luffy's speed only gets greater from here, as his Bound Man is much faster than Gear 2nd, and Snake Man is even faster than that. Kaido also wasn't using Future Sight at the time of using those Thunder Baguas, which would have helped him fight at a faster level, and he only needed it against Snake Man Luffy and Gear 5. So we can objectively say that Luffy's combat speed, even in Gear 2nd, is faster than anything that Law and Kid can react to, based on the fact that he was swapping hands with a partially suppressed, drunk hybrid Kaido. Luffy even has better reaction feats than what Big Mom showcased in the Law and Kid fight. Big Mom's best feat is reacting to the corner deal while weighed down, whereas Luffy can completely dodge a Thunder Bagua from a drunk hybrid Kaido. Luffy has Future Sight too, which is another reason for why he's more perceptive than Big Mom. As for their durability, this should be pretty straightforward, that Luffy has far better endurance and durability than Law and Kid. Big Mom was able to knock them down and heavily damage them without coating any of her attacks with Conquerors Haki, whereas Luffy is able to withstand and endure far stronger attacks from Kaido. For example, Big Mom was damaging Law with a barrage of armament Haki punches while he prepared his Puncture Will. Base Big Mom was also able to deal real damage to Kid using her Ikoku Sovereignty. In contrast, Luffy withstood a Conqueror's coated barrage attack from Kaido's Dragon Swarm while using Gear 3rd, which would be the same durability as his base, and he was taking these attacks to the face. So Luffy not only withstood stronger attacks from Kaido, but he took on more of them than what Big Mom did to Law and Kid. Finally, for their attack power, Law and Kid's base abilities are too shallow against Kaido, and they weren't very effective against Big Mom, both on the rooftop and in their isolated fight. Their base attacks are weaker than base Luffy's Conqueror's coated attacks that surpassed his prior Gear 4th due to their attacks being too shallow, just like Luffy's attacks were before learning advanced Conquerors Haki. However, with their awakening, Kid and Law have the combined strength to break Big Mom's bones. The reason why it's their combined strength and not their individual strength is because the logic of these combo attacks is that the first attack is supposed to weaken Big Mom and the follow-up attack is supposed to be the finisher. And this is exactly how Law described it when asking Kid for their roles to be reversed in their combo attacks. Some people downplayed Kid in these combo attacks by making out like Law did most of the damage. This is based on Big Mom specifically commenting on how dangerous Law's shockwave attacks were. However, this doesn't mean that Law's attacks were necessarily way more effective, as even after Law used Shock Will the second time, Big Mom's arm isn't broken until Kid hits her with the corner deal. The same could be said for when Big Mom's ribs were broken, as Law weakened Big Mom's body with his shockwave attack and Kid smashed his bull attack into Big Mom to break her ribs. The damage dealt to Big Mom after this combo attack forced Big Mom to sacrifice some of her lifespan in order to heal her bones so she can continue the fight, which is a testament to how powerful Law and Kid's attacks were. Law's strongest attack is called Puncture Will, in which he stabs his opponent with Kroom and his sword grows so long which makes the shockwave generated more powerful than any other. This can be seen by the massive crater that Law's attack created just after a single blast. Big Mom was already fearful of Law's awakening before this, but this is on a whole nother level. The only downside is that it takes a bit of time to prepare, and in that time Law had to endure a barrage of Big Mom's punches before he can finish his surgery. As for Kid, his trump card is called Damned Punk, which is a metal cannon blast that shoots a metal rod at high speed. He uses this attack after Law's puncture will, which knocks Big Mom down. Big Mom tries to deflect the attack back at Kid, which led to a power struggle. Kid's attack and Big Mom's defense resulted in a stalemate until Kid fired another Damned Punk attack, which knocked Big Mom through the ground. During advanced Conquerors Haki, he was able to match a partially suppressed Kaido's Dragon Swarm with a Gear 3rd Rock Gatling due to the fact that their attacks seem to affect each other relatively the same. Kaido considers Gear 2nd and 3rd Luffy to be the strongest he's fought in a very long time, and he just fought Yamato before this, so this scales Gear 2nd and 3rd Luffy above Yamato. Luffy's performance against Kaido also supports this, as although Yamato held her own, she was clearly on the losing end, whereas Luffy fought Kaido to a more equal level and even forced him to strengthen his Haki, which Yamato couldn't. Gear 4th would amp Luffy several times stronger than this, and Gear 5th puts Luffy on a full power Kaido's level. Luffy was able to overwhelm Kaido at certain points in the fight, and his Haki surpassed Kaido, shown by Luffy winning the final clash. Now, with all that said, it should be very clear that individually, Law and Kid are basically insignificant above Big Mom anyway, and it still took Law and Kid an extremely difficult fight to get the win in over her. A week after the Onigashima raid, Law engages in a battle with Blackbeard and Kid engages in a battle with Shanks. To me, it does seem like they got stronger since the raid, as they both started using their awakenings right from the beginning, whereas versus Big Mom, it was reserved as a last resort due to the amount of stamina it drains. However, despite their growth after defeating Big Mom, they were nowhere near the level of Luffy, which is demonstrated by Kid's defeat at the hands of Shanks. After foreseeing the destruction that Kid was going to cause, Shanks attacks Kid with a Divine Departure, which is the same move that Roger used against Odin and one-shotted Kid. The crazy thing is that Killer tried to help Kid against the attack as well, and he was also one-shot, and Killer is strong in his own right, as he was able to completely tank some of Big Mom's lightning attacks. With that said, Luffy is on that level of power. He's on Shanks' level of power, and he arguably could be even stronger since he overpowered Kaido's strongest attack in their Haki clash. This not only reinforces how one-sided of a fight Luffy vs Kid and Law would be, but how much Big Mom's defeat inflated the perception of Law and Kid's strength in the eyes of many. Anyways, that's all for this topic, so if you enjoyed or learned something new, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I've been the one and only Sage, and until next time.